I think death like occurs within, right? Because like the person, like when my mom passed away, the version of me that had a mom passed away too. Like I had to become a new me. I had to become someone that didn't have a mother present in the physical, right? And yeah, man. And I didn't even know what to talk about. That's why I wasn't on air anymore. I was like, everything has changed for me because this is real life. Things just changed. I can't really be concerned about the latest concert or what's going on or going to hang out or smoke and drink. And like, it's just like, I just need to think about, process this. This is a different thing. So I'm definitely a new me, but I'm happy to be back. I got a lot to talk about. I don't want to entertain people no more. I want to educate people, you know. Education comes from within, you know what I mean? I think I also think about now like because my priorities are different now, obviously, you know. Um, so yeah, it's just and like I canceled this. Like I was gonna do this a couple times with you. I was gonna call you a couple times, like, hey man, set up, set up. And then like right when I'm about to call, I'm like, I don't got nothing to talk about. You know what I mean? But now I'm happy I'm back. We got a lot to discuss.
I'm happy you're back too, man.
Yeah.
Um, let's do this. Can you start us off with a prayer, man? Pray for whatever
Yeah,
you want,
yeah,
Philly,
yeah.
ourselves, whatever you want to pray for, man.
A prayer. What's interesting about praying a prayer is I used to talk to this external God, right? Like God, something, something, something. But now I realize that that created separation because God is not out here. God is within. I'm literally talking to myself. I just need to reconfirm, reassure myself of what I'm saying. But I will say this though, because the tongue is very powerful. And people think that our words are left in the past. Like you think when you said something, I said that 5 years ago, that doesn't matter. But words don't go in the past. Words go in the future to meet you. You know what I mean? So I'll say this. Um, I am that I am. God is the word. I speak the word, therefore I'm God. The ground that I walk on is holy. God dwells within me. And I ask divine providence not for more riches, but for more wisdom with which to use to direct wisely. I'm not trying to kill my man over here. I don't think you should kill what you can't create, which is really which is really deep. They hanging out. I think it's the tea. Don't kill it,
Did
Josh.
you say?
Don't kill it, Josh.
I'm not that
Don't
spiritually aware
kill it,
yet.
Josh.
I've been trying to get that joke for a
Can't
week now.
don't kill what you can't create. That's
I'm like,
important.
man,
Yo, man. Speaking of that, right, with these lantern flies and all that, stop killing those things, man.
oh, the
I
land,
know.
ooh,
No, hold on. I
good.
know that because the other day I was at this restaurant and they were everywhere,
Everywhere.
right? And but they wasn't around me, which was very interesting, right? They was around everybody that was trying to kill them, which I thought was just random. But I said, wait, don't kill what you can't destroy. And she said, but they said we gotta kill him. And I said, somebody told you that and you just doing it? You know what I mean? Um, yeah, don't believe everything you see on the screen. I think that's very important, and that thing is alive. And you can't recreate it. And I know there's some people that's probably like, what? But like, imagine if an angel came down here and just squashed you. How would you feel? You know what I'm saying? But on a real note, though, you can't kill what you can't create. Don't kill what you can't create. If you can't recreate it, leave it alone. It's a beautiful thing. And you don't know why they were sent here. Somebody told you a story, you just follow it. We don't do that. Think. You don't know what the planet is trying to get rid of. You don't know what trees need to not be here anymore. You're not sure what plants don't need to exist anymore, right? The planet is going through this shift, and things that we thought were right before are now wrong, and things that we thought was wrong before are now right, right? Like at one point we thought the world was round and flat and round, and if we were to tell people that the whole world is going to shut down, all the countries are going to, that would sound like nonsense before. You would have thought somebody was insane, but you just never know what's going on. And I think it's very important just to be still, peace, be still, and know that I am God type vibe.
Do you feel like like the process of a plant growing, right? you have to take a seed. There's a lot of life in that seed, right? A lot. It could be a tree, it could be a forest.
It's
But in
amazing.
order for that to manifest, that seed has to be buried, hidden in the dark, and broken in order for the forest to manifest, right? Do you feel like, and again, I'm not trying to relate everything around what happened, but like that's a big part of like who you are right now. You
Right.
understand what I'm saying? That process, and you're still going through the process of like what happened to your mom, being buried in the dark, feeling lonely, stuff like that. Do you feel like now that you feel a little bit more refreshed, that's unleashed more potential, like more forest potential, like because you've been broken, so to speak? Are you a better man or a greater man to have more potential now because you have more perspective, or, you know, like what do you think of that? Like, do you see similarities in
I
dealing with
seen
death and, you know what I mean?
I seen my mom in a dream after she passed away. She was 90. And she was like walking down the street. I was walking with her. We was talking and stuff. And I don't believe in death anymore. You know what I mean? Because what I felt was real, you know, and we don't really understand our dreams. You know what I mean? We don't quite understand like lucid. Like I had my first lucid dream after my mom passed away. You know what I mean? And you know, I just feel like that there's definitely parallel universes. I don't feel like she actually uh I feel like she's still alive, but maybe not in this vibration, like maybe not in this frequency and on this level of consciousness. I was just talking to my guy Majo about this, and I was like, yo, you know, um, there are different frequencies out here. You know, there's different levels of consciousness out here. And like think of it like radio stations, right? Like, like if I'm on 103.9, uh, but but on 103.9, you get certain personalities, certain music, certain people exist on 103.9. Certain artists, certain, vibes, they exist on that frequency. But if you go to, 105.3, you're not going to get the same personalities, the same music, the same vibes. You're gonna get a whole nother set of vibes, but you can't be on two frequencies at once. You got to pick which one you want to be on. And sometimes you got to leave people on that frequency. I really do believe my mom is on another frequency, alive, because like I said, I went to sleep and I was walking with her. I was talking to her. Even my dad, I ended up having a dream about my pops. He was walking down the street talking and laughing. And I was just like, yo, when I woke up, I'm like, that place exists, you know? And you ever, you ever, you ever hear someone say something or talk about like food or a smell, and then you can smell it even though it's not there, or you can feel it even though it's not there? Like for instance, do this with me real quick, okay? All right, I want you to close your eyes. All right, let's close our eyes real quick. And I want you to imagine a tennis ball. Imagine feeling a tennis ball, right? You can feel it, you know. Now let's change that to a golf ball. You can feel that. Let's change it to a piece of silk. You can feel that. Let's change it to a dollar bill. You could feel that. Now, how can you feel it if it's not there though? It exists somewhere, right? So, I think that there's just multiple worlds, I'm still exploring, I'm still on a journey. Um, but I do feel like she's still alive somewhere. It's just not where I'm at right now presently.
Sounds cliche, but like when they say everything is energy and stuff like that. And like I believe that 100% is that when people die, it's not that they're like they're just they don't
It
exist
can't,
anymore
it,
at any
it
level.
can't be.
I guess that's the beauty in life and like the universe. As vast as we are, Earth, right? As we think we are.
Right, as we think we are.
It's so much we know, right? But that we can't even experience on like our small level, like microwaves and
Right,
radio frequencies and so many things surrounding us
right.
that we just are aware of, but like it almost don't exist because we can't see it or
Mm.
experience it in a certain way. So it's like as vast as we are as the earth.
Right, we can't even
Filter,
fathom.
yeah,
We
like
can't
what's
even,
really.
Right, like everything, right?
Everything.
Yo, can I tell you something real quick? The other day, my little sister called me, asked me to come through and see her, right? I went to go see her. She asked me to go get her a coffee, right? I went to I went to go get the coffee and I stepped into the coffee shop. My mom always goes, my mom is coffee. Coffee is her thing.
Yeah.
As soon as I opened the door and put my foot in the store, my mom's song came on.
You see what I mean?
Let me tell you this. Are you ready for this? Are you sitting down? Right? I'm at the hospital and I found out that I was having a baby, right? And I was so excited and I seen the baby on the ultrasound and the nose and it was waving and it was sitting with its legs crossed, like meditating. And like I seen the spine and everything. And I just started crying. I just couldn't believe it. And then I started thinking like, man, my mom can't even see this. My mom is not even here. And you know, my mom, the only thing my mom ever asked me for, other than stay out of trouble, which I did that, she just kept asking me for grandkids. She kept asking me for grandkids. She kept asking me for grandkids. Everybody goes through this. We know this, right? They always go through this, always ask me for grandkids. And then, and anyway, so now I'm sitting in the hospital. I just found out that I'm having a baby. My mom is not here. And I started crying. I was happy and sad. And I'm crying and I miss my mom. And I'm saying it inside. I didn't even speak this out loud. I didn't say this out loud because I didn't want everybody in the room. I didn't want to, create a negative vibe. But inside, I'm like, Mom, tell me something. What am I supposed to do? I can't, you're not here. What, like, I need something. The universe, do something, say something, show me something, give me a sign. Will you believe we get a knock on the door? Somebody walks in and says, hello, anybody in here? Yeah, I don't see a chart on outside of the door. I'm trying to figure out, I need to check you in or whatever. So the chart was inside. So she comes in, she sees the chart. Oh, here, go right here. She says, hey, I'm going to check you in real quick. My name is Lisa. My name is Lisa. I said, excuse me, what did you say your name was? She said, my name is Lisa. I said, Lisa, do you believe in coincidences and, things like that? And she was like, yeah, sometimes. I was like, okay, because I just found out I'm having a baby and I lost my mom. And my mom name is Lisa. And she was like, oh, congratulations and, all of that. And I was shocked because I, I just asked for a sign. I just asked for a sign. And she knocks on the door. Guess what she did? She opened up the file to check us in, right? And when she opened up the file, she said, oh, I'm sorry. I'm not even your nurse. I don't even belong in this room right now.
Right.
Wow. So, I have to put my ego aside and stop believing in death and stop believing in all of that, have more faith. Um, and so anyway, so on the way out, I bump into her again. And she says, hey, I actually don't believe in coincidences. I believe in divine intervention. That's what she said when I was leaving. So I really don't, I'm not as I don't cry as much. I'm not going through a lot of different things anymore. Because every time I ask for something, the first time that I let the cry out, the cry, the scream, the sound that I never heard come out of my own, that I've never heard before, when I was bawling, snot, everything, I had to pull over. I couldn't even drive no more. I was afraid that I would not be conscious enough to operate the vehicle and safety for everyone. So I pull over, I let it out. Why? Where are you? Mom, where are you? I'm screaming, I'm crying, I'm just letting it all out. Then I turn and look out the window. It was a church, St. Elizabeth. Bro,
Right.
there's so much more to life than the latest album, the latest pair of sneakers. You know, we just gotta just not get distracted and guard our attention. The universe is playing a game with us, but we we sometimes forget, you know.
Right.
But all of that has happened. Every time I go through it, something happens. On the day of my mom's memorial, the Flyers was playing. The Flyers is like my mom's super Flyers fan. I mean, Flyers is everything, right? Anybody that knows me, anybody that knows me that ever asked me about sports knows the only sport that I know about is hockey. They never knew why.
Look at them. I love the Flyers, so I would make them wear Flyer gear. Philadelphia Flyers. This one is where we went to Wildwood. I got them in the Flyers gear again.
But that was because my mom's favorite sport is hockey, and she would take us to the game. She would have the Flyers hoodies and all that stuff, right? The same day of the memorial was over at 2:00. The Flyers was playing at 2:00. They played the same exact team of the game where the first game my mom ever took me to.
Right.
It was the same two teams playing again, the Flyers and
Was it one
in
Pittsburgh?
New York. Flyers in New York. And I found the ticket to the game the day after she passed away. And that was the same game that came on after the memorial.
Right.
When I walked outside at the memorial, a Flyers bus drove by. You know? So it's interesting.
How do you feel? Because these are two large events, man, happening to your life. You know what happened to your mom months ago, and now what you got to look forward to. That's a big event, man.
That's a big event.
To be honest,
That's a big event.
right. And I, you know, you can't really compare like the two, but like that may even be like, you know, your mom passing is a big event, but like what's about to happen may be even like I don't want to say a bigger event as like to minimize what happened to your mom, but
Yeah.
meaning like
Yeah, I'm about to be a pops.
that's what I
I'm
mean.
about to
Like
be a father.
that means like with your mom, yeah, you took care of your mom took care of you, but this is like somebody you brought into the world. This
Yo,
is like solely,
listen.
this is your contract. You know what I mean? How are you feeling knowing that
Yo, listen.
you got an
dude.
influence?
Yo.
Because you've been influencing people for years, but you ain't influenced somebody that came from you, which is different.
That's different.
How you feeling about that, man?
I'm excited. Dude, I'm gonna be the best father that's ever walked the planet. You know? And my dad was an amazing father. I'm not nervous. I'm just excited. It's unreal. Like when I seen the moving on the screen, and I'm like, yo, that without getting too that's my sperm that turned into a person that's inside you.
When you went, because you said you went to the hospital and found out, did you go to find out or you knew she
No,
was
we
pregnant?
already knew.
Oh,
We
okay,
already
okay.
knew.
Right.
To be completely honest, my mom passed on a Saturday. At the time, we were already pregnant at that time. Nobody knew. And I was going to tell my mom the Wednesday after she passed. Me and my lady sat down and we was planning to surprise both of our moms at the same time.
Right.
Same day, we was gonna have a dinner. This is the Wednesday after she passed away. We was planning this all week. She passes away on Saturday, bro. Didn't even know. You know, my dad said he told her, but like my stepfather said he told her.
Right.
But I didn't get a chance to tell her, you know? And so she passed away. And then we were having a baby. We lost the baby. We ended up losing the baby. And it was funny because when we lost the baby, we were cool. Like my lady was cool. We were cool. We was really like chilling. Like it didn't affect us the way that I've heard it can affect someone. Like my lady was like chilling. And I really think it came from me because when we found out at the hospital, she looked at me and I was like, we was gonna do it again. You know what I'm saying? Let's go. Like, we don't got nothing to worry about. This ain't about nothing. And she was like, all right, cool. And she was chilling. And I'm still super proud of how she handled that, you know, because that's inside of her. You know, that's a whole different thing. You know what I mean? And we lost the baby. This time we didn't want to say anything, to chance anything. We wanted to make sure we got through like the first trimester and everything. And then when we got through it, We went to the hospital. She was already 4 months. She was already showing when we went to the hospital. So we already knew. We already knew. But we just wanted to get it checked, make sure everything was healthy before we started celebrating, getting all hype and all of that stuff. But on a deeper level, can I take this a little deeper?
Yeah, can I say this before you even go there? Maybe this may be out of order, man.
No,
but
no,
before I
anything.
forget,
Nothing's out of order.
who knows, man? Because again, you know, as humans, we know a lot, right? We're evolved and all that, but we really don't know anything, right?
Nothing.
But who knows? And this may sound like a storybook, but your mom's been asking you for a grandbaby. Because she even said it a couple times, like when I was filming it, right?
Right.
It was 2 times when I'm looking through the footage, she said it. It was like a quick little, like, yeah, like if you give me a grandbaby, that'd be good too.
Right.
When we got into trouble, we let him know. But he also knew that we loved him. And he, like I said, he was a good kid.
That's good.
So I'm waiting for grandkids.
No rush though, right?
No, now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who knows if, you know, your mom passing, right? And around the same time, y'all miscarry, if your mom kind of has her heavenly grandbaby or frequency grandbaby. Like you got the one you about to have, you know what I mean? But like she got her grandbaby because they both transition around the same time. You know what I'm saying? And then, you know, in the future she'll get to see you again, stuff like that. But who knows if you ain't give her like that frequency grandbaby like right now. And you know what I mean? And she's rearing it, raising it, whatever, spending time with it. Who knows, man?
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Wow. 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 Yo, give me some for that, bro. Thank you for that,
problem,
bro.
man.
Yo, you literally just like, you just changed the molecules in my body. I felt things shift in my everything just changed for me just now. Yo, oh my goodness. Yo, I love you, bro.
Love you too, man.
Yo, thank you, man. Thank you so much, man, for caring, man. Thank you so much for even using your being to even deliver that message to me. Like, oh my goodness. Wow.
Around the same time, you know what I mean?
Wow. 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 What do you think chills are?
Dude,
What do
what's
you
the
think
purpose
chills
of a
are,
chill?
bro?
I know.
Oh my goodness.
That's a good question.
So I'll tell you like what I think chills are. Chills is a confirmation from the divine, you know. It's letting you know that that's truth. That's truth. That's why when we hear something, we get chills. That's truth. That's like,
Have you ever gotten a chill that made you? And again, this is like not important at all.
No,
Like,
let's go.
I'm a
Keep
big
it
basketball
going.
fan, right? And it doesn't just happen with basketball. It happens. Well, I think I told you this when I started to realize I was like a creative. Was when I would watch certain movies, and it was so beautifully shot that like I'm getting chills on the inside. Even in basketball, it'd be certain sequences. LeBron get to steal whatever in the dunk. Have you ever gotten chills to the point you almost feel lightheaded, man, for a second or two?
Oh yeah.
It's almost like a connection of the spirit and the physical, man.
Boom. It's like
you know what I mean?
it's like a pump fist
Right, it's right, exactly.
between
So
the
like that's
physical
what
and
I
the
feel like
spiritual.
a chill
Ooh,
is.
I like that. I gotta
A
start
little
using that.
connection, man.
Yo,
But yeah, not to
that's
cut you off,
deep.
but yeah. You're gonna have 2 kids, man. You know what I'm saying? Like one is already with Mom Dukes. The other one you got right now.
Wow.
As far as media, I mean, you've always been a creative, man. You know, you've been hosting, you've been shooting this, that, and the other. Where are you as far as creatively, man? Like, what do you have on the? Like,
That's a good question, man.
Mhm.
That's an amazing question. I'm celebrating 25 years as an on-air personality this year. 25 years.
That's
My
so great.
man George called me and was like, yo, you know you've been doing this for 25 years? I was like, oh, it's 25?
Right.
This is the silver,
So
right?
since you were a teenager.
Yes. You know, back in 97, I started doing, like I was an on-air personality when I was 12, 13 years old, you know? And 25 years is silver, 50 years is gold, 75 years is platinum. You know what I mean? And I'm celebrating 25 years as an on-air personality. I could say this. As time has gone on, I've had different definitions of what God is or what I think God is. And recently my perspective on God has changed. For me now, God is an experience, right? Um, a few months after my mom passed, I was sitting in the bed, I was by myself, and I was just looking at the ceiling. It was like 2 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the AM. And I started getting visions on my mind's eye, right? I started seeing things and I seen this huge vision of me. And I was like, I am the world's biggest on-air personality. Like people wake up and they tune in to me to start their day, to get that power hour, to get that energy that will take them through their entire day, right? And I seen it, and I was in this penthouse. I actually haven't even talked about this. I was in this penthouse, and I could see Philadelphia. I could see Philly. I could see it, and there was this huge on-air sign in the glass. And it was like the Batman sign. It was like when you see the sign, you know Batman was coming. It was like when you seen the on-air sign was lit, you knew Sir was live.
Right.
And everybody would go listen. And it was like millions of people was tuning in. And I actually created the city of brotherly love,
Okay.
right? Like people would tune in and they would just automatically love on purpose. They would automatically have those good vibes. They will automatically be in that positive vibration, you know? That's why the station is your station to raise your vibration. You feel me? So I had this vision, and the vision was bigger than what I could even imagine for myself. That's when I knew this was God's vision, because where did this come from? You feel me? And I seen it, and I was experiencing it, and I was awake. I wasn't asleep. I was awake, and I couldn't tap out. I was tapped in. I was forced to watch a vision of me. And it was like the higher version of me. It was like the best version of me. It was like God being in my body and performing as Sir. Sir was just a character for God to perform. And when God took over, I seen this vision. And and that's what made me come in today. Because in order for me to get there, the first step is to get back on air. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm here to um to 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 just tell my story, to just talk about my experience. Some things have happened for me in my journey that I've experienced in the physical, that if I told someone, they would think I was delusional. They would think I was crazy on some Einstein stuff. Like, wait, you about to what? You about to create what? You know, like you about to create the airplane. Like, what? You know, and when you think about the greatest people in history, they was once called crazy. They was once called delusional, you know? I don't know if this is true or not, but I heard this story about the owner of like Netflix or something, right?
Mm-hmm.
His own wife. Again, I don't know if this is true, but we know that this has happened, just period.
Right.
His own wife was like, I don't really think that's a good idea, because it's like, wait, what? You want people to stop using tapes and like and you just want them to watch it online? Like that don't make sense. Like, what are you thinking about? You know what I mean? So so now I'm in a space where I just want to tell y'all things that I've done, things that I've manifested, how I did it, and how it came to pass. And I just want you to try it for yourself. You don't even have to tell nobody. You don't got to say it out loud. Just try it for yourself. If it works, if it's proven to you, that's all you need, even if nobody else believes. That's what I'm here for now. I'm here to I would like to uh, you know, help people ascend from 3D thinking to 4D thinking to 5D thinking. 3D is fear, lack, I mean, scarcity, the human race, the race to something. There's only enough money for this. There's only enough resources. Like war and all that stuff is built off of the fact that there's just a finite amount of resources, but that's not true.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And I think that, just with sharing my stories, I have some amazing tapes and videos that are available on my website for people to go listen to. If you go tune into the radio station 24/7, you cannot you cannot come to my station and leave the same person. It's impossible.
Now, are you talking about like I want to say the same things, but like because you've evolved, are you saying the same things but from a different like lens? Like as far as the content that you put on the radio now,
Yeah.
because you've evolved and you want to sort of, I don't know if it went from like you want to entertain people before to now it's like, is even more so I want to raise people's frequencies. Entertain,
Yeah.
but like, is raising people's frequencies even more prevalent than it was before, or is it about the same?
No, listen, I don't entertain, I educate, you know? When you tune into my station, it's going to raise your vibration. You're going to hear things that is going to change the molecules in your body, change your brain, you know? Like a magnet that's demagnetized doesn't change in shape or weight. The only thing that's changed is that all the molecules are facing different directions. But when all the molecules do an about face, it magnetizes. My goal is to have the molecules within you change and do an about face, a spiritual about face that will magnetize wealth, health, money, friends, situations, places, opportunities that would just come to you. They would just come to you. And when you hear my stories about just how things have come to pass and what I did to make it happen. Matter of fact, let's talk about GoDaddy real quick. Okay. I was listening to the Money Bible, right? It's available on my website. So go check it out, the Money Bible. And like halfway through the Money Bible, it comes to this point where it talks about getting a refund from the universe for all the love you put in, for all the people you helped, for all the homeless people you fed, for all the time somebody came to you and you made a phone call for them, for all the people you got jobs, for all the people you gave rides, for all the people you gave clothes, right? And it was just talking about like, yo, you need a refund. You need a refund. And this is not no, oh God, can you please? No, no, it's my birthright. It's my birthright to have an abundance just as much. Listen, the most important thing that you need is air. You have plenty of air. Why wouldn't you have money? Why wouldn't you have, cars and houses and stuff? Why wouldn't you have that if the most important thing that you need is air? And you don't even have to go get air. It comes to you. It's in front of you. You don't have to go do nothing for it. So why wouldn't you have money? Why wouldn't you have health? Why wouldn't you have prosperity? Life is about the pursuit of prosperity. It's about coming into your own self and your own powers and knowing who you are and what you're capable of and learning that through the power of your tongue and the words that you speak out, the vibrations that you put out, right? Everything is vibrating, everything, even this table, even this shirt, everything is vibrating. If you put it under a microscope, you'll see it shaking, it's vibrating, everything, nothing is solid. It's just on a frequency that holds it together, right? So from within, the first law, the primary law is vibration. Secondary law is attraction. So from within, if you believe, right? Jesus said it best. I'm not a religious type guy, you feel me? But Jesus said it best. It is done unto you as you believe. This is why two people can live on the same block. One person will say it's the most dangerous block ever. Their house got broken into, their car got stolen, da da da. And the person right next door will say this is the safest block they ever been on. They leave their car running every morning, every AM. We not morning nothing. But one person can leave their car running every AM like it's nothing. Windows down. Obviously, nobody's in it. Anybody could steal it. They never had a problem. They never had like, dude. I remember once. This is real life. I told somebody meet me at the crib, right? They're like, all right, bet. I see you there. I pulled up, parked, went in the house, chilling, waiting for them. I'm all relaxed. They pull up, yo, somebody just got shot on the corner. Oh my goodness. Yo, it's cops everywhere, da da da. Mind you, I'm like, where? Outside? They like, yeah. Look outside, I don't see nothing. Like, where? It's like, yo, right around the corner. How did you miss it? You have to drive past it to get in here. I'm like, dude, I didn't see anything, And it's just because we think differently, You become what you think, and then what you become, you attract, right? So like, you can't, want a loving relationship and you're not loving, you can't want something that you're not, right? It can't, it just don't work like that. And, um, it's important to understand that, like, again, it's done unto you as you believe. Two people can have just two different beliefs, and this person can be going through a lot of different stuff, and this other person could not be experiencing anything. You know what I mean? And how can that be? How can that be? You know, I think one of the best gifts the universe ever gave us was our own bodies, so we can isolate things, right? Like when you get sick, I don't have to get sick, right? When you go through something, I don't have to go through that, right? So you have that free will to believe anything you want, and what you think about, you bring about, right? What you believe, whatever your mind can believe and conceive and believe, you can perceive and receive. Okay, I'm gonna say that one more time. Whatever there is nothing in this world that you can't be, do, or have. The only limits are in your mind. Whatever your mind can conceive and believe, it will perceive and receive. That's like very important, you know? And the subconscious mind, which is below the conscious mind, right? So every time somebody talks to you, it goes into your conscious mind. So you can reject or accept, right? Once you accept, it drops it down into the subconscious mind. And the subconscious mind is like, I guess you could say like a storage facility. And it's just storing all the data that you put down there. You know what I mean? And at some point, if you have too many entries of something, then you start to believe it, you know. A belief is just a thought that you had over and over and over again.
Right,
You know what
and
I
then
mean?
it starts to reiterate. It starts to reiterate itself by what you
Right,
think. Like when you're
right,
seeing, you see more of it.
right,
So you start to believe it more, and it's just
right.
a
So what
cycle
you
of like, that's how you
exactly
believe it. I believe it more. I believe it even
right. So
more.
it's
It's
a
confirmed.
self-fulfilling prophecy,
Right.
right? So it's like, you bring about what you think about. It's just very simple. And as you think and become the thing that you think, your frequency, your vibration in your body changes and then attracts certain things to you. So if you think about lack and you think about sickness and you think about this virus and you think about, you bring it about, you bring it to you, your cells accept it in. I was just saying this. Every day when you wake up, you have new cells, right? You have new cells. There's cells that die, and then there's cells that's born, right? The cells that are born, the new cells don't know nothing. It hasn't been programmed by its God. Its God is your tongue, your voice. When you speak, they program. Okay. So let's just say for simple numbers, we're just going to have 10 cells. Okay. Simple numbers. If every night when you went to sleep, one cell died, and then you got a new cell. When you wake up the next day, you got one new cell that you can program for prosperity, but you got 9 cells that believe in, a lack and a fear, all of that, right? The next day, another cell dies, right? You get a new cell and you program that one for prosperity. You still have these 2 cells now fighting the 8 cells for dominance, right? Because you could only believe one thing. You can only hold on to one thing at a time. So now every day that one cell dies and a new cell is born, you have to program that one to fight, right? And you just have to have patience and faith and time. You got to give it time to kill off all the old cells and become the new, right? And once you become the new, once you get that new body of cells that's held together by the glue of love, then the cells vibrate, attracting things to it. So I think that when certain people pray or they're manifesting, they give up too fast, right? And then those 2 or 3 or 4 cells that was almost about to conquer, they get killed off. And then you're starting over. And now you're like, yo, I told you. Imagine if you're going from Philly to LA. Shout out to LA. Hey, right? If you keep turning around at the halfway point to go back,
Yep.
but then you want to say, no, I'm gonna go. And then, but no, you turn around, you go back. You don't get anywhere. You don't even get back to where you was at.
And use more energy.
And you use more energy, right?
Right.
You got to keep going. You
And
got to
that's
keep
one
going.
thing I've always admired. I mean, people in general, but since we're talking to you, and I'm sure there's areas in your life where you haven't been consistent, but you're consistent, man.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
Thank you.
And I think consistency is one of those skill sets that's like, it don't matter what you do in life, if you could just be committed, focused, and consistent, you can get places. You know, a lot of people want things, a lot of people have the talent to get things, but it's the consistency that just is
Yeah.
weak. Can you tell us your thoughts on the importance of putting good material in your mind, in your heart, in front of your face, in your ears, so that you can, even if you're not that person now, right? But the person that you want to be, can you tell us about the importance of putting good things, planting good seeds inside of you so that you can manifest that in the world? And can you give us a couple of resources of books or something like that that you think can be a good
That's an
springboard for
amazing.
people to start putting,
Yeah.
good material in them?
Every impression must have an expression, right? When you eat, you have to go to the bathroom. When you drink, you have to go to the bathroom. When you put lotion and things on your skin, you either have to go to the bathroom to get them out or they come out as pimples and different things like that, right? It's the same thing, but when you hear things, it has to come out. When you see things, it has to come out. It has to find a way to express itself. That's what life is about. So if you're listening to music that's negative, it has to come out. Imagine if you listen to 15 songs about love and then you go see a girl, right? You're going to be a totally different being. But imagine if you were listening to 15 songs about a woman cheating, stepping out, da da da. You're going to be a totally different being. Imagine if you watch 15 movies about carjackings and car robberies and shooting and murder, and then you go outside. You're going to perceive the world differently than if you were to sit there and read a book about prosperity, abundance, right? You're just going to be, it has to, it just has to manifest. It's important to understand the mind's only job is to create. And it can only create what has been thought into it, right? I consider this my mind. This is my mind. This is my mind. All of this is my mind. And when I speak, my mind says, God just spoke, do it. So if I say, oh, I'm tired, God just spoke, do it. If I say, oh, I'm broke, God just spoke, make sure he stays that way. Make sure that that's what he gets, you know? So we have to pay attention to our tongue. And we have to pay attention to what we allow in because it has to come out. So if you're watching gangster music, this is why a lot of people are running around with guns and doing different things because they listen to this stuff and it has to express itself. So you listening to the gangster music, then you go get a gun. That's the expression of it, you know? So it's very important to watch what you let go in because it has to come out. You feel me? Some of the books that I would recommend, the first book I would recommend to everyone is The Four Agreements. The Four Agreements. It's very important. And it's a very small mini book. You can read it in 10 minutes. It'll change your life. Four Agreements is be impeccable with your word, which is basically to master thy tongue, right? Pay attention to what you say. You hear yourself the loudest. Pay attention to what you say because you hear yourself the loudest. Your mouth is right there. It's right there. So you hear everything first. You hear this, you programming yourself. Okay. And your subconscious mind doesn't understand jokes. You can't be like, oh, guess I ain't gonna make no money today. It don't understand that. It don't understand it. You got to cancel that out, you know? And so that's the first thing. The second thing is that don't make assumptions. Don't make assumptions. Don't assume. Don't pass all these judgments on what's happening and what's going on. You know, that's very important. The third agreement is don't take things personal. You know, a lot of people you don't even know yourself. How is somebody else going to know you? So when somebody tell you about you, they don't even know you. You don't even know you. So how are you going to take it personal? That don't even make sense. You know, that's that person telling you who they are. When someone speaks, they're just telling you who they are. You know, I like to let people talk, you know, so I can know who they truly are, you know? And the last one is to always do your best. That's all you can do is your best. And as long as you do your best, you can go to sleep. The Four Agreements. Who, not how. That's a great book. Shout out to my man Trace that put me onto that book. He called me like 10 times, like, sir, did you read Who Not How? I'm like, no, bro. He's like, you need to read Who Not How. Who Not How is about, it's more like on a business thing, like, you know, always find your who. Don't try to figure out how to do it, you know, because you want to save time. And, you know, for instance, you know, you've been behind the camera way longer than me. Why would I try to get behind the camera and figure out how to do it when I could just sit here and start filming, right? But Who Not How also talks like in a spiritual essence. I understand it as You never supposed to ask how. If you ask how, you're never going to do it. And when you ask how, now you have to do it. Meaning, like, if you say, oh, I got to pay my phone bill, so I have to go to work this week and do 40 hours. Now you have to. Now the universe said, hey, he already said how you're going to do it. We don't got to help. The universe throw the hands up, right? God throw the hands up. Oh, they got it, right? Don't do that. All you got to say is what you want and why you want it and let it go. And the universe has way more resources than you. It's everywhere at one time. It's hearing different things right now, right? If the universe knows that I need to get X amount of dollars, it also knows who needs to spend X amount of dollars and why they need to spend. And they want to. It's not making them. They woke up today and say, I need to go pay for this, right? So the universe just makes sure we walk past each other. But the moment you try to figure out the how, the universe says they got it. They got it because you got free will. You're able to create, you create your own reality. So don't worry about the how, just trust. This is where faith comes in that time when we was talking about the cells dropping off. Time, faith. You have to have faith. And you have to what's the word? Like keep going. Persevere.
Yep.
Yes, you gotta keep going. You never give up. Never give up. Like my man Majo said, don't fall back, sir. Fall forward. You know what I mean? That's
Boom.
thank you.
That's a bar.
The most alive that I've ever felt since my mom passed away, right? Well, changed frequencies. I don't even want to say passed away. But the other day I did a podcast class, right? And it was funny because maybe a week or two before that, I was just like talking to the universe, like, yo, what am I supposed to be doing? You know, like if I don't wake up tomorrow, did I do what I was supposed to do today? You know what I mean? Like, what am I supposed to be doing? What's the purpose? Like, why I live this life? People, we just born and die, you know? And I just felt like the universe was like, man, just shut up and go to work, right? So I go to the office. Somebody called me, was like, hey, can you teach me, you know, about a podcast? I want to start my own podcast. And I was like, man, I haven't had a podcast class in a minute. This would be great. Yeah, come on through, right? So like, they got a one-on-one with me. So they come by and I go into the On Air with Sir closet and I pull out all the On Air with Sir courses, day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, right? And I'm looking at this. And mind you, I haven't seen this in like 2 years. And I'm reading, I'm like, I made this, you know what I mean? So I started teaching and I forgot I lost time. Time just didn't exist anymore. It was just like I was born for this broadcasting thing, like to not only do it, but to teach people how to do it. I've been doing it for so long. I forgot all of the techniques and the skills and the tricks and all the resources and the links and the people and the application links to this radio station. And I got all of this stuff and they came by and it was like, as I was reading it to them and we're going over step 1, step 2, step 3, and we're talking about branding, we're talking about all these different stuff. It was like I lost track of the sense of my body. It was like I was floating, you know what I mean? And that's what made me come here today because I'm like, yo, I really feel alive. I really feel like this is the only thing that I feel like when God made me, he was like, all right, we need somebody to do broadcasting. Who we got? He was like, all right, we're going to make Sir. You know what I mean? Like, and, you know, man, shout out to my girl Key, because she's the one that booked, like, she booked it. She was like, sir, I need to learn. And she came through, man, and I was going through that. And when she left, the thank you, mind you, hold on. I didn't even I'm thinking about this right now. Somebody else ended up coming by for a podcast class that day too. And it slipped my mind that even happened. And they left. They were crying. They were crying after I told them, like, no, look, don't do that. Do this. No, wait. Don't charge that. Charge this. Wait, hold on. No, because you got to include the travel and you got to, wait. But who's going to edit that? Hold on. But how you paying your DJ? No, wait, hold on. No. We're not going to do it. We're going to do it like this. And I gave them the package and they seen it. They were crying and they text me like, yo, thank you so much. Boom, boom. And the feeling that I got from that, money couldn't buy. I can't even buy that. All the money, all the resources, and all the stuff, I can't even buy that feeling. And life is about a feeling, you know? So it was like when all of that happened, it led me here. Now I'm back. I'm back. You know what I mean? I'm back. I'm back.
Said you was a Mace fan.
Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Let me see. All right, the mic lip lock, right? I talk about this all the time, right? So when you're on air, and let's just say you're talking to different people, right? Let's say you got your guy over here, you got your guy over here, you got person over here, whatever, whatever. It's important that you lock your lips on the mic. So when I look over here, I don't turn the front of my head. I turn the back of my head, right? Yo, word? That's crazy. Yeah, that's cool. Hey, wait, stop playing. Stop playing. Word? Oh my goodness, that's great, right? You don't want to do this. Word? Oh man, that's wow. Yo, yo, my man. You don't want to do that. You know what I mean? You want to just mic lip lock. You know what I mean? Once you start talking, you don't move this. This is important. This is what people listen to. You know, so when you tune in to On Air with Sir.fm, you're listening to this. This is important. You know, so that's the mic lip lock.
I got you. That's dope. That's good
Right.
technique, man. Okay.
Um, thanks, man. You see that compliment that makes me like I know I'm in the right direction. You know what I mean?
100%.
You always want to do a back sell and you always want to do a forward sell, meaning that when I start talking, I want to talk about something that you don't know about. Make sure you go check out that last episode. Make sure that you know you go to the website and you something you missed. You want to go check that out. Now let me boom, 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 boom. And on the way out, I want to make an appointment for the future. Yeah, so don't forget next week we're gonna, hey, don't forget if you want a t-shirt, you gotta go, you know, that whole, hey, you're gonna see me again. It's not over. You feel me? That's very important. Just to set those appointments. Something else that I'm gonna say, less is more. Less is more. You know, if you can get your message across in 30 seconds, 90 seconds, you don't have to do an hour podcast. You don't have to do a 30-minute podcast. You know, if you can get it in 5 minutes, less is more. It's very all right. So on radio or on television, you have a time frame. You got 30 seconds to talk. You got 3 minutes to do that interview, and that's it. And you got certain things you need to talk about. So you need to find ways to cut the guests off, right? But not be rude, right? So you know, a great way to do that is when they say something, you're like, oh, yo, you know what? Right? If you put your hand out, you do a hand gesture, that'll cut them off. So like I do that. And sometimes you just want to say, like, yo, wait, well, hold on. That was yo word, and then you start talking, right? But you gotta learn how to double dutch and get in between a word without being rude. That takes practice. So yeah, I think that's the key. The best thing to do is just put your hand out, especially if it's only audio, right? You can signal them, you know what I mean? Wrap up, right? But yeah. You have to watch your thoughts. Got to pay attention to your thoughts, right? We got two worlds. We got the inner world, we got the outer world, right? So in the outer world, I'm sitting here and I'm talking to you on the camera, but on the inner world, I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm doing this. This is great. I'm back on air, right? So we got these two worlds that are going on all the time. Sometimes we allow the external world to dictate how we feel internally, and we can't allow that to happen because now you don't have control of your being, you don't have control of your emotions. Something outside of you can control how you feel. So you're not in control of yourself. That can be a relationship, money, job, different things like that. You have to be solid inside, you know what I mean? So just to watch your thoughts, you know, and you know, of course you're gonna have negative thoughts, but when you do, you got to check yourself. Yo, whoa. Hey, mind. We don't think like that. You know, you can cast that out too, right? Like if I have a negative thought, I just replace it with a positive thought. I might stop and be like, whoa, I cast that thought back to the nothingness from which it came from. Like that should have never even passed my mind. And sometimes you don't even want to give the thought attention. It'll just automatically fade. Thoughts also are neutral. So like if you think like, you know, if you think Philadelphia, the Philadelphia was a neutral thought. Your thinking makes it bad or good, right? The way you think about Philadelphia, how you relate to Philadelphia, but there's a small space between a thought and a thinking where you can interject and figure out how you want to think about it, right? And there's tons of truths, right? Like, you know, I could say Philly is safe, Philly is dangerous, Philly is this, Philly has money, Philly is poor, and I can justify all of those and find all of the resources to back up what I'm saying, you know? So watch your thoughts, but remember, thoughts create feelings. Feelings create actions, right? So I'm like, oh, I'm thirsty. I feel, and then I grab, right? But the better example of this is thoughts create feelings, feelings create actions. If you think your significant other is cheating on you, then you feel that hot energy coming up when you get angry and you pick up the phone to find out, just to find out that it's not true. But you've seen that. Thoughts, feelings, actions. Actions create behaviors. Behaviors can create your personality. Your personality is how you interact with your personal reality, like the things that are around you. How you identify yourself is how you use your intellect, right? So like think of the mind. So like the mind has like 64 parts to it or something like that. But when you break it down, it's like 8 major parts, but there's 2 really important parts of the mind that you need to be aware of. You have your ID and your intellect. Think of it like a knife, right? Like your hand is the ID, the knife is the intellect or something like that, or the handle is the ID and the knife is the intellect, right? Like, you know, like what you slice. Now, if I identify as a father and I see a knife, my intellect is going to say danger, put it away. If I identify as a chef and I see a knife, my intellect is going to say it's time to cook. So how you identify yourself, your intellect will take hold, right? And start going. So it's very important to watch how you identify. And understand the mind is like a knife. If you don't have knowledge of a knife, you can grab the wrong end and cut yourself. If you don't have knowledge of what the mind is, you can grab the wrong end and hurt yourself. You know what I mean? And then we sit back and see, I told you, self-fulfilling, you know what I mean? Like, dude, it's just a self-fulfilling prophecy. So you just got to watch your thoughts, meditate, watch your thoughts, and don't judge them. Just allow them to come in, but watch your thoughts. Your thoughts, what you think about, you bring about. It's simple.
And it's just like that.